Fourth, the end of the Cold War allowed the old adversaries in Asia to seek reconciliation and to seek a new paradigm of cooperative relations. Let me just mention 5 examples. During the Cold War, PRC was viewed by the ASEAN country with a lot of suspicion. Because in the 1950s and 60s, and even in the early 70s, the PRC supported many communist insurgencies in Southeast Asia. And they had a radio station in Yunnan broadcasting communist propaganda to all of our countries. And all the countries in ASEAN were routinely condemned by China as the running dogs of the Americans. But so, because of this legacy, there was a lot of suspicion about China. But if you look at the transformation that has taken place in the last 20 years in the relations between China and ASEAN, it's dramatic, I don't know if Lawrence will agree with me or not, but I would hazard to this guess. I would say that of all of ASEAN's external partners, if you poll the ASEAN country, they will say that their best friend is not Japan, their best friend is not the United States, their best friend is not the European Union, their best friend is China. And I say this transformation of China's relations to Southeast Asia and with ASEAN is truly remarkable. And this would not have happened if the Cold War had not ended. In the same way, during the Cold War, China and the Republic of Korea, South Korea, had no diplomatic relations. But today, China and South Korea have multi-dimensional and very substantial relations. China and Vietnam were adversaries during the Cold War. Today, I wouldn't say the relations are warm, but relations between China and Vietnam are correct and cordial, I would say. Correct and cordial may be the right word to describe this relationship. China and India during the Cold War were on opposite sides. But, and as you know, in the case of China and India, they had a brief border war in 1962. So the memories of this border war between China and India still linger in the hearts and minds of many of my Indian brothers and sisters. And so there's still some mutual suspicion between China and India. But China and India are beginning to learn to get along, to trade with one another, to invest in each other's economy. And I think that China has become India's largest trading partner, and Indian company beginning to invest in China and vice versa. So relations between China and India are promising, and qualitatively is certainly a major difference from the adversarial relationship they had during the Cold War. I'll just conclude by talking about India and ASEAN. During the Cold War, India and ASEAN did not get along, primarily because of Cambodia, because the Indians supported the Vietnamese. So I remember at the UN we were constantly debating each other. But once Cambodia was resolved, the Cold War was over, again, the ASEAN country bears no grudges. We are very pragmatic and practical people. We saw the potential of India. We know that strategically, if this region were dominated by only one country, China, it is not good for the region. So we therefore proactively engaged India. We wanted to bring India into the family. And beginning in 2005, the ASEAN country created a new grouping called the East Asia Summit, which consists of the 10 ASEAN countries, plus China, Japan, South Korea, India, Australia, and New Zealand. And ASEAN and India have concluded a free trade agreement, at least on the goods chapter, something ASEAN and EU had not yet done. So if I remind my European friends that you're way behind. So my fourth point is that the end of the Cold War allowed all adversaries to seek reconciliation and to seek a new paradigm of cooperative relations. And I've given you 5 examples: ASEAN and China, China and South Korea, China and Vietnam, China and India and ASEAN.